Please subscribe the channel for daily exclusive Reddit content, and don't forget to like and comment. Today's story, my F27 flatmate, F27, has told my boyfriend, M31, she's in love with him. I F27 moved into my flat in October of last year to take the place of mutual friend of mine and my new flatmate, F27. We have a generally great atmosphere in the flat and both have similar expectations and habits, and while we are not friends yet, as in we wouldn't go out for brunch or be each other's plus ones for parties, we are very friendly. She seems super normal and level. When the lockdown began, March, my boyfriend, M31, of 2 years was living with his sister and his mother, undergoing chemo, who lived alone, needed somewhere to stay where she could be looked after, so she moved into his room and he came to stay with us. My flatmate was totally fine, and we had a proper chat about ground rules etc, but ultimately the flat is huge for 2 people, and she has a kind of granny flat set up in hers. Either way, she gave definite approval. Now, we 3 got on great, but never really spent a ton of time together. We all work from home, and spend the occasional evening playing games, or whatever, but ultimately we didn't mingle much more than before. My boyfriend, however, cooks every night for the both of us, as a thank you, and so we do now eat together, and my flatmate seemed happy to be included. It was great. However, last week, my boyfriend took me aside and told me that, while he was in the courtyard hanging out the washing, she ambushed him from behind and gave a huge speech about how she's in love with him, and while she respects he's with me, she has deep feelings for him, and that she's available if he were single. Oh, and please don't tell Opus. She didn't try to kiss him, but tried to hold his hand. He was very anxious and flustered when he was telling me this. The flat atmosphere is very awkward now, but as far as she knows, he's not said a word. She's not said anything else to him, but he did mention that she had touched his arm a couple of times as she was walking past recently, and it's really gotten under my skin. My BF is also confused because he hasn't spent that much time with her apart from dinner and never alone. I spoke to our mutual friend who was shocked and says she's never done anything like this before, and she'd never known my housemate to have a crush on anyone either. I've not seen her acting strangely in any other ways, and it hasn't outwardly affected how she treats me. We can't move our end because virus, money etc. How do I deal with this? TLDR, my flatmate has told my boyfriend she loves him while he's staying with us, and we can't leave. Brew WTF. As the other comment says, have a serious and long conversation with her, your boyfriend included. This is extremely inappropriate, and it's obviously affected everyone in the flat. Communicate how it has affected the atmosphere and let her know that she can't be touching up on your boyfriend when he's now still in a relationship. That's wrong and disrespectful. You have to talk to her about it. If you don't, she will see your BF silence on the matter as tacit consent. Nip it in the bud before things go way out of control and she ends up sexually harassing him. Absolutely confront her. There are 2 huge issues here. First, she asked your boyfriend to keep this a secret. And second, yeah, what a trash friend and roommate she is. Crushes happen. But for her to confess to your boyfriend, she was legit wanting him to dump you for her. She wasn't just confessing if he was single. She knows he's not single. She was making her move, but got shot down. And your boyfriend needs to put a stop in the touching etc. And maybe this is going to be unpopular advice, but do not care one bit how uncomfortable it will make everything. Her, the house etc. She did that, not you. You're just going to call her out on her trash behavior. There is no easy solution. Option 1, you sit her down and tell her your BF told you everything and he is super uncomfortable. Tell her that she crossed major boundaries and you need time apart. No more shared dinners. Option 2, even though it's a pandemic, housing is still a priority and rentals are still allowed to be shown and whatnot. Start looking into other affordable housing options. Personally, I would do both options. I know confrontation is hard and uncomfortable, but what she did was so unbelievably out of line. And touching your BF is so creepy. You will never feel comfortable around her again. So even though you can't move out tomorrow, you should start saving and planning for moving out as soon as possible. If you say nothing, she will believe he never told you. To her, his keeping mum might look like he's entertaining the idea. /twe can't move RN because virus, money, etc. How do I deal with this? I've been in situations like this, and the answer is almost always to move out. If it's impossible now, then start saving and planning your move. Tell her that you know everything and that, while she can't control her feelings, you expect her to behave appropriately and to keep her hands to herself. End conversation. Living in close quarters, it seems like your roommate has seen how your boyfriend treats you and is fantasizing. I would suggest that you and your BF discuss how you would all be more comfortable. What kind of ground rules would work well, while taking into consideration that she is the paying roommate with you, so you can't expect her to eat every meal in her room. For example, while you should be cordial, it's probably a good idea to discontinue spending time together. However, logistically, you may want to consider continuing to cook meals or cook a couple times a week to continue to show your appreciation for your BF staying there while eating separately. When you all sit down to talk, your BF should carry the conversation while sitting close to you and holding your hand to signify his support for you. He should emphasize that her actions hurt you both very much and that, while you both don't fault her for her feelings, her expressing herself the way that she did was highly inappropriate. Her actions have broken the trust and friendship that you all were developing, and because of that you will need to agree to some ground rules going forward. You may end up having to find a way to move if the living situation ends up being untenable. She has already created that rift. Try and use the conversation to de-escalate the situation. I think you should have a talk with her about how inappropriate her conversation with your BF was. However, that's not going to fix the problem. Anyone who respected you or your relationship wouldn't put you in this position, especially during a time where you can't easily leave the situation. I wouldn't be rude to her, but I think you need to stop being friendly. If she is still touching him after he told he no, then it's not going to get better. Come up with an exit strategy. What did he tell her in response to this speech? If he has not already done so, he needs to be the one to make it clear that he is not interested in her and that he told you because he is not going to keep secrets from you. I think one problem with your approach is that you feel bad that he didn't honor her don't tell op and keep a secret. F that. You and he should wear that there are no secrets BTWN us like a badge of honor. It tells her that not only is your relationship strong, but you are a team and she can't break it down from within. A couple years ago, I knew someone who gave me the just don't tell your husband thing and that quickly got shot down. Nope. No thank you. Lockdown has folks going crazy. Your roomie is single, rooming with a couple. Your boy is making dinner each night. Kitchen sink fantasies are huge. The cockles of one's heart are likely to warm. What I'm saying is that this makes sense to me. Good God, has the poor girl even seen another man in real life the last few months? Here is my question and what I think you might ask her. This is awkward AF, but how much of these feelings could be attributed to cabin fever? Maybe it's necessary to address the whole situation and not just the coupling aspect. Maybe if he outwardly shows affection to you in front of her, she will get the point. He should stop cooking for everyone for a while and go back to eating separate schedules / in your room. She is really disrespectful to you and your relationship, so I wouldn't worry about hurting her feelings. I'm guessing this is a cooped and lonely thing with your BF looking like a tall glass of water in the covered desert. Doesn't excuse saying anything to your BF, but I wonder if this would ever have happened if she was able to get out easily for drinks. If you don't talk, all three of you, it's probably not going to make things more awkward than they already are. The roommate knows that your BF has told you what she said. For someone in his position, there's only two options, and they are mutually exclusive. He's not reciprocated her feelings, so I don't see how she would think he's kept it to himself. This would be particularly unlikely from a woman's perspective. I know this will be unpopular, because on Reddit you're supposed to always be 100% honest, but I would propose that the three of you talk and mention the circumstances of being in quarantine together / cabin fever and not seeing other people, because this is really the only way to give your roommate a face-saving way to retreat back to the dynamic the way it was before with the three of you. Normally, I would say move out. Be mad at her. Both of you express your feelings to her, etc. But I would urge you to think more in terms of the dynamic you want to create in the household, and less in terms of offloading all of your feelings onto her. She's not going to steal your BF. If you feel sad about it, this may be a way to rebuke her without lashing out. I think this might be the best way to be honest with each other and move forward in the most peaceful way possible. Even if it's not perfect. Hopefully I'm reading your post right. Is your goal to try and make the dynamics in the house as unawkward as possible? What does your BF want to do about it if anything? Girl. Why is he worried about her secret? As if she confided about a crush at school. She literally decided it's okay to try to sabotage your relationship. And she's hoping his loyalties are with her over his own GF. Lol, what? What a deluded woman. How are you not livid at her? How has he not said fuck that? I'm telling my GF. And we are having a discussion about boundaries? Or at least if you touch my arm one more time unprompted, we are leaving. I'm shocked that he is tiptoeing around her instead of taking charge and putting her back in her lane. It's great that he told you. Good BF props there. But that doesn't stop the issue, as it solves literally nothing. You should definitely confront her about this. If she thinks he's willing to keep this a secret from you, then she'll think she can break you up. Well, only thing to do to make it less awkward is talk to her, or someone move out. But what I heard was your BF saying that she professed her love to him and acts flirtatious with him. What I did not hear is where your BF shut her down and assured her to stop her inappropriate actions. Feelings happen. Nothing wrong there. But to act on those feelings, given the circumstances, that's not cool on her part. I think the best way to deal with this is you trust your boyfriend to make it clear that he isn't interested, and you trust your friend to back off. If she doesn't back off, then you talk to her about it. Tell her you are stepping back from your friendship until she can keep her feelings under control. Oh, I know. This must be so hard. Oh no. Two women love me. They're both gorgeous and sexy. My wallet's too small for my 50s and my diamond shoes are too tight. This seems oddly inappropriate, but since I'm petty, I'd recommend making out with your BF in front of her and have him profess his loyalty to you. Maybe that will get the point across. SMH. I'm wondering if it even happened, and the boyfriend is testing the waters for adult activities that require an extra